So most fans know you for your hockey career, but you've got a lot of racing experience yourself too. How did you get involved in the sport in the first place?
It's actually because of LP and JF. Both of them are a great friend of mine. We go back a while and started to follow them up and going to some races with them. And then at one point I was like, I was helping them. I was helping them in different ways, and I was like, I guess I want to give it a shot. And then I bought my own car and I started to race on my own, and I did it for 5 years. And now this is my second year of non-racing, and I'm comfortable where I'm at. I mean, I've done it. It's complicated. It's a lot of work, and I have a lot of respect for these guys that are doing it weekend in and weekend out.
Well, that begs the question: will you ever return to the track?
I don't want to say no. I loved it. It's a passion for me. I'm sitting in my seat this weekend, and I don't feel like I want to drive. I'm really enjoying watching the other guys, and even more when it's raining. It's been raining now on and off, and that feeling of sitting in my car when it was raining, I was just like, hey, geez. So no, I don't know.
So you said, you've obviously got involved because the brothers. How did you kind of first meet them, and when did they kind of want to be involved with you?
Yeah, we're from the same city. I live in Trois-Rivieres as well, just like them, and it's a small town. There's 130,000 people in this city, and when you get two great athletes like these guys, obviously we're about the same age, so we get to meet a lot, and that's it started at a pretty young age. And also our agent, my agent, Mr. Paul Corbet, we have the same. He does stuff for the Dumoulin team as well. So we just one more thing that just made her friendship and her easier, I guess, to meet and to build something together.
You were involved with LP's championship winning team a couple years ago. What was that experience like? Because that must have been something completely different from, let's say, you've got experience with championships and everything. So what was that like?
I mean, it's you're more like supportive, I guess. Like you're not not playing any specific role. You're there. You're happy for your friend. It was funny because afterwards I received like an owner trophy from NASCAR, and I was like, geez, it made it. It was kind of funny because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all LP and JF that are doing all the work, and the 47 on the car is because of me, because it's my number. But I mean, it's more for I don't know exactly what the word would be, but all the credit goes back to them, and I'm very proud. And the reason why I like to be around them is because I learn a lot with them. They're great professional drivers and great friends, and when they won, you saw the work that they have to put in, and when everything connects together, it's a blessing, and I'm proud of them.
10 years ago, would you ever think you'd be a NASCAR championship winning owner?
Absolutely not. That's incredible. I've been playing in the U.S. in hockey, and I've met some of the NASCAR guys. I've been to the Daytona for a couple times for the 24 hours or for the 500, and I've met Mr. Jim Cassidy, and he's one of the head guy there for NASCAR, and we've talked many times about that, and it's incredible. I go to Daytona, and I'm received like a car owner, which I guess somehow I am, but I'm not really,
It's not a bad thing to have. Outside of that championship, do you have a favorite racing memory? Whether it's you in this series or maybe other NASCAR levels?
But personally, I raced 5 years, and I've never made a podium with my car. But 2 years ago, I started racing in the Micro Cup series with Le Prix du Gros, which is he's a car dealer in our area, and I finished third in the Montreal Grand Prix. So that was my highlight of my career, my racing career, I guess. But no, for me, every year I would say this weekend here is awesome. Like it's in our city. It's where my baseball team is located. I meet a lot of the people. I have to do business with them, and seeing all of my friends on track, it's a great event. So I would say like the GP3R is a highlight all the time for me.
So growing up myself watching the Montreal Canadiens, I have to ask, have you talked to Patrice Brisebois about racing and maybe doing something? Because I know he raced at least in the series for a little bit.
Yeah, Yeah, I did, and he's we're all friends. And hockey is also a small world. Like we all know each other, and Patrice and I, we were having the same passion, which is racing. So we had the chance to talk about it quite a bit. And he's a great driver. He's been racing some much better car than I did. I mean, he's been driving the Ferrari Challenge and some pretty cool cars. So I envy him a little bit. I wish at some point I had the chance to drive a car like that. It's if at any point I go back to racing, it would be with a car like this. I don't want to build my own car and try to get a Mazda RX-8, having over 300 horsepower with the wheel and just rebuilding everything. I think you just need to go with a good factory car, and that's the easiest way to go to race weekend for sure.
Yeah, if you do return to racing, is there a certain race you really want to compete in?
Well, this one here for sure. I mean, I'd like to go like a couple spots in the U.S. too, like some pretty cool racing events, like the 24 Hours of Daytona. Like, why not? That's something like to prepare and to if you take the money equation out of the picture, because the downside of racing is always money, and it's such a heartbreaking portion of the sport, because it's such a great sport. There's so many people that would love to do it, but at the same time it's just money, and it's unfortunate because it's a passionate sport, and there's so many more people that would, like, you're looking at this series this weekend. There's some series that have 15 cars. I'm sure, like, if you take everybody that would want to do it in the stands, there'd probably be 100 cars on the track and be such a better show, but it's not the way it is.
Yeah, it's an expensive sport, but
yeah,
that's how you drive it. Now, what would you say is tougher, doing 3 wide going into a turn at a track like Trois-Rivieres, or going one-on-one with Sidney Crosby?
Oof. Definitely more risk of injury going 3 wide in the turn in Three Rivers with all these walls. Jesus, I've met them too. I've destroyed my car here going a rear end at the end of the street, and that wasn't pretty. My Mazda RX had no more room for a grocery to put in the trunk. Let me tell you that. But no, Sidney Crosby is the best player in the world. So no, I would choose to go against Sidney Crosby. I might look bad, but I wouldn't definitely probably not hurt myself. But here going 3 wide, there's some pretty serious consequences.
Yeah, a lot less dangerous going against Crosby.
Yeah.
He'll just make a quick move, see what happens. It's tough. Yeah, I can't imagine. So you've obviously been a fixture in the Trois-Rivieres sports scene with baseball and everything. What do you like the most about the city?
I mean, it's a very nice summer city. It's I don't know if you had the chance to go downtown, but the Deforge Boulevard is tons of little bars, tons of little restaurants. They're locking down the street, so people are just walking like throughout the downtown area, and very, very friendly. It's a small town, huh? So people are very familiar with each other, and we're close to Montreal. We're like about an hour and a half to Montreal, about the same distance to Quebec City. So very central, very easy to move around. There's no traffic. It's an easy-going city. So for me, it's always been my hometown. I always kept my house here. It doesn't matter where I played in the world. This is always where I came back in the summer, and yeah, that's what I like about my city.
It's a very beautiful city. So you've raced, you've played hockey, and now you're involved in baseball. So what do you like about baseball?
I've owned the Three Rivers Eagles for 5 years now. We're 3 in it, 2 of my partners. And the reason why I joined the baseball organization and I got involved into baseball was to really learn the business side of the sport. I mean, I've been in the sport my whole career as a player, and I felt like this is what I know the best. This is, if I want to have a business in the future, most likely I'd like to have it in sport, because it's what I know better. And I figured start in baseball with some strong partners, and that would be a good way to start. And now it's been 5 years. I'm a president of the team, so I'm seeing everything. I'm overlooking at everything, and this is exactly what I wanted to get involved for. And it's been a fun ride. It's a tough business. You need to be very very diligent on the spending and on the partners. But I mean, it's just like any other business, I guess.
Would you say it's more fun than maybe watching the Blue Jays right now?
Oh, the Blue Jays, it's such a tough sport. I mean, like, we've been struggling this year as well. It's a very momentum sport, and once you lose it, somehow it's just really hard to get back on it. And I hope it was such a fun end of season last year for them and for the whole Canada. I guess it was right behind them. So I hope they pick it up and somehow they make it through. But that's sport.
Would you like to see a baseball team in Montreal?
Absolutely. I think you're seeing like people are really in it. Like the Mr. Coder, the mayors of Montreal, is really in for it. So why not? I mean, it'll help everybody. I mean, for us, I don't see it as people are not going to come here. They're going to go see the Montreal Expos. I think it's just going to create more momentum, more baseball fan, and I think that's the way you build businesses. So hopefully at some point we'll see an MLB team in Montreal.
Great. Well, thank you very much for doing this, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.